Okay, in this video I'm going to talk about the lighting, interior lighting with the help of the sky texture. So I have a collection. If I just turn it on, so we wait just a second to complete it, and then yes, so let's see the effects out of it by going to the world, and you can see this is just a simple modeling. I just took a duplication of these and rotated it in here. Then I added a plane on the top to block out the lights. So I will go in details. Then I added these kind of shapes, which I used a ray modifier, and this is a single shape. I just added a plane, and with the help of the K, if I press K, I can cut it and make any shape I want. Then I enter tab. I press enter to assign it. Then I press 3 to delete those faces to create kind of holes to light path through these holes, and the mesh itself will block out the light. Then I added a ray modifier, 8 by 1 meter in a factor of x, and this one 8 by 1 meter in a y-axis. Then I on top of that I added a subdivision modifier to make it smoother. So we'll wait just a bit. So now you can see. So this is don't work until we assign the important thing, which is the sky texture. So before of these, we actually assign the sky texture. So let's turn those off, and we go and click on this dot, the color. We search after sky texture. So this is looking like so, but after applying each of these, so let's hide those, and it is not too heavy, but in this case it looks like it is heavy. So let's just show you what I did. So this is the basic plan, and this one is the copy of the background, and this one is the plane that I told you how you can create. So this one is blocking the sky texture so that it kind of feels that it is like tree behind of this scene, and when the sun is shining, it will pass through the leaves. So kind of that feeling. Then let's turn everything on and take a look. So we need to play around with the sun elevation and sun rotation. The setting that we can actually change it from here. So let's type this one 47. It can be different from you, and 20. As soon as I type those, you will see these nice thing. You can see that if I just turn it, the sun rotation, we will pass the light through these shape that I created. So let's type 20, and then sun size. As I said, the sun is actually really small, but if we make the size of it to, for example, to 2, we will kill out those sharpness of the shadows. We convert those to really smooth shadows. So, and if it just type, for example, 10, we will see those really blurry. So let's at least set it to 2, and then intensity. If I just set it to 10, it will burn everything out. So let's type 2, for example, or let's leave it at 1, since we want just a single touch. Or even you can set, for example, to a really low number intensity to just see a solid effects out of it. 0.8 should be good. So now this is totally changed the thing. Then you can, for example, grab this background, these two background, and select them. Control L to link material. Oh, there is no material, so let's add one. And now select this one, and actually these two are linked, I think. No, it is not linked. So let's select this one, then this. Control L and link material. Press H to unhide it. Then from here you can actually assign a color to match the color of these. And now, okay friends, I just worked on the background just a little bit to actually create a gradient from just a bit darker greenish to lighter. So you can follow these steps. You can see that this is before with just a single solid color, and this one is after. Well, things really changed. So we can copy in case if you like, for example, this kind of color and you want to use it here, you can use it without any problem, but just make it professional. Make some parts brighter and some parts darker. In this case, you can see that I just used a single gradient texture with these two texture and coordinate connected to mapping from generated. And with the help of this color ramp, I can control the color. So this part is going to be the darker and the brighter part. And let's press Shift D. Now, for example, you can change it at any time. You will avoid it, so you can copy and paste the same color that you worked in the beginning. For example, I can change the hex code to this. Now we see a lot better color. For example, change this one to the same thing, but we can make it just a bit darker like so. And it's a lot better. So you can actually copy the same setting. I say that maybe the setting for the rotation and the location for you is going to be different. So if I just press Control Shift and left click, and here or here, you will see this is the result. For example, if I change press Shift, you can see how it will affect. Then the effects of this one is rotating actually. I think I covered this part in a couple of videos ago, which I talked about. And this is the final touch. At any time, we can, for example, change this brightness of this area. For example, let's select here, and this is too bright, so let's click and make it just a bit darker so that it match with the rest. Now it match a lot better. And here as well, just a gradient, not too much. And this one is too high, so let's bring it just a bit down. And that's perfect. So now we can actually take a look at the render. This is the render, which I can set it to slot 2, and then we go to render setting, press Ctrl S to save it. Let's click here to join this area and to join this area. Now I use, if I just press 0, you can see that I used full HD instead of convert it to different. Okay, so if I just press 0, you can see that I'm in camera mode. So let's press N, we can lock it, or let's unlock it and we move back. Now we can press N to, you can see that we just covered this area. It would be great if we could, for example, add this nice lighting on the background. So we can do that. We will work on it just a bit and then we will check render. So let's work on that. Set this one to render and then just take a look what is happening with here. First of all, we need to expand this part. Let's click here. We move it to other side by pressing Shift D. Now things start to be just a bit heavier. So we move here and let's select this and press H to hide it. I think the most problem is that one. So let's move this one now at the top and scale it. Let's look and we can now fill this area. So we should start to see something. And this is the final scene. So the problem was about these actually parts which the light is shining through that. So this part is actually covering all the lights which coming. So therefore I was created this sort of effects to block out and create these nice stylized at the background. So you can see I added these two here, and these two is controlling whatever is the shadows for the wall at the background, and this one is the same place for this main object. And for these parts, it actually, you can see, is controlling the softness, smoothness of the shadow on the wall. Anyway, this is actually something that you have to work with, play around with the blocking stage, or blocking files or your assets that you want to block out your lights. So you have to make some holes to let the light shine through it, and this is the actually easiest way. And then we go to world origin. Make sure to play around with this. If I just set it to 4, you will see it actually smooth out everything. 1, we will get these nice and sharp edges. And 2, I think the most natural is this one. So let's leave it as 2. And let's play around with the sun intensity. 0.2 is just a bit, a really less light we will see, which is nice. So you can compare different of these. 0.4. So let's take a render of this. So for the render setting, we go to render properties, set it to cycle, GPU, and let's turn a viewport because we have to play around the render setting. In this case, the maximum samples for these I set to 150. You can see it to 300 and higher than that, but for this case it is enough. Then turn on the noising. The most important is the light and the color management. We set it to filmic from beginning of this lighting. Then medium high contrast, and you can see very low contrast and very high contrast. Wow, it burns everything out. And this one is the medium high contrast. So it's up to you how you want to set things. So this is the normal. So let's set it to wireframe mode while you're rendering, and make sure to fix your frame. In this case, I use if I go to render output, I use one of these presets, HDTV, which is by default 9020 by 1080. If you increase these 100 to 2, for example, you will actually applying these 1 to 2, and then you will get a 4K resolution. And frame rate isn't that's important in this case because we are taking a single render image. But if you want to take animation, make sure to set it to higher frame rate, like 30, and then output, take a location, choose a location for that, set it to filmic or so. In this case, for the render image, I like to use PNG and RGB, because RGBA is when you take something with a transparency. Okay, that's right. So let's click on the render and F12 or render image and wait a second. Not a second, a couple of seconds. And finally, this is the result. So this is actually the beginning result, which we get without any background light. And this one is with the background light. Oh, take a look. How nice is this one? But we can make it even better if we can work on a bit. Wow, this one. Just take a look. It is a lot beautiful than this one. So we added a glow in the compositing, which I'm going to talk about that later. And then this one, oh, interesting, right? But here we have more focus on the object itself. But this one is good as well. And this one, oh, it actually killed things. So we could use, for example, instead of 0.3, we could, for example, use this one. The sun intensity is to 2, and this one is 0.3 or 2, I think. So we could, for example, use the sun intensity of 1 to have at least a good level for the sunlight. So thank you very much, and see you in the next video.